only really little. That just is quality straight there. But we are loaded into the game, Lenin. Would you do the honors and introduce these two players?
I would love to. Spawning in the top, in the bottom left, excuse me, we've got the French Protoss player sponsored recently by XMG and already doing very well under their banner, but he is currently down a game to Socke. Will he be able to take a game back and tie the series up 1-1 in the bottom left? It is the French Pro League caster. He's Protoss, he's blue, it's ToD. In the top left, we've got his opponent, of course, from Germany, playing in red, playing as Protoss, playing for Team Alternate. It is Socke.
Now, of course, we are currently sitting in a situation where Socke is 1-0 up to ToD. He won that first game, for those of you just joining us now, by going for some DTs up against ToD's Oracle opening. It was very close. It didn't end there, though. There was a little bit further on. Both players took their natural bases. What we'll be having in this game, we'll have to wait and see. But for the moment, we have got ToD sitting there with 1 gas, 3 probes in it. Meanwhile, 1 gas for Socke, but with only 2 probes, the third one just adding in now. So that means ToD has fractionally more gas at the moment, but not enough to really make a big deal about. Going into the later stages, what sort of strategy do you reckon ToD's going to employ? After having those DTs in the first game, would you still go for that Stargate once more?
I don't know. It's going to be difficult to predict what ToD is going to be doing. He's not scouting, so he's going to have to play a very safe build, a very all-round build. Whereas Socke, he's sent a probe out very early on after Gateway to go ahead and scout his opponent. So ToD is actually going to have a marginally better economy than his opponent. It's already starting to show a little bit in the supplies, but that is also because Socke has invested in another gateway early on, which might suggest a blink build. Going for 2 gateways early on is going to be the 3 Stalker rush that was such a big thing when this got invented back in Wings of Liberty. Everyone was like, oh my god, the 3 Stalker rush, that's the new way to stop the 4 gate, when 4 gate was the meta game. But it's still a good build, it can still be used, and usually it is followed up by either an expansion or blink. And look at this pylon. Is that going to be a proxy Twilight Council, or is he going to proxy something else?
There are quite a few things that you could proxy down there. We'll wait to see what it's going to be for, but it is most certainly a proxy position, to say the least. And ToD, he's got his Mothership Core out now. Socke's just finished up his Mothership Core. They're both going to be banking up energy. Meanwhile, ToD's natural is half done. That is the big difference. And here comes down a Stargate for ToD as well. So he's taking up quite nicely. The probe on its way back down to that proxy pylon for Socke. What is going to go down? Is anything going to go down? Here it goes. It's coming closer. Oh, it's just tempting us now. It's literally just baiting all of our attention. Be like, are you really? He doesn't yet. This is all very confusing.
It's just a 3-gate pressure, I think. It's just a plain 3-gate pressure. No super sneaky things. Socke is just going to pressure with 3 gateways and expand behind that, I feel. No 4th gateway inside, and he might even drop his Nexus before going for his first Warpin round. On the other hand, ToD, he's got his Mothership Core out. He's got 100 energy. He will be able to use Photon Overcharge, but he's got to be careful that the Stalkers just don't run by. I've seen that happen in games where you're positioned like to defend your natural, and the Stalkers just run by into the main base, and then you're sitting there like, oh, yeah, I suppose he could do that.
Well, in comes Socke, so we'll find out if that is what he's going to do. He is doing a nice little bit of damage to that natural. ToD triggers Photon Overcharge. The Stalkers just kind of standing around, taking quite a bit of the fire, but will back out. Socke not feeling confident enough to push forward. However, the first Oracle is out on the field now for ToD. And no, it's not. He cancelled that. He cancelled it. Yep. He cancelled it to start a Void Ray up. Really smart choice. That Void Ray with Prismatic Alignment will do so much damage to those Stalkers. But the big problem for ToD is he's only recently had his 2nd Gateway up. So he's got 1 Stalker, 1 Sentry, and 2 Zealots. That is it, up against 6 Stalkers and 3 Zealots for Socke. Socke's also got the Proxy Stargate down, ready to come in. He has got an Oracle on its way. If he pushes up into the front while going for that Oracle play at the main, it could be ever so effective. ToD has got to identify this quickly and get himself into a nice position to defend it.
Whoa! Money force fields there, and only a Zealot is going to die here. That was amazing. The Void Ray, of course, doing so much damage, takes out the Mothership Core, but in comes the Oracle in the main mineral line. ToD needs to warp in at least 2 Stalkers to deal with that. Immediately pulls all his probes towards his natural. Great reaction. And with all the Stalkers that he killed off at the front, I think he should be able to defend just fine here. Has to be careful to not lose the Oracle. Socke! Oh! Wow.
That Void Ray was the hero right there. And let's just take a little look at how many workers were killed. Socke managing to kill 6 probes in total, but ToD, he's only behind by 2 because he's had this natural base up. ToD's also got the option to make 2 probes at a time, whereas Socke's cut all probe production. He hasn't even started his natural yet. And what has he got to follow up with? The answer? Not too much. He does have 1 Void Ray now down on the field, so the Void Ray count is equal. These 2 army supplies are identical, both with 26 on the field. ToD getting down a Phoenix. A second Phoenix, should I say.
Phoenix.
Yeah, it's a second Phoenix, actually. So this is getting all very, very interesting, exciting, and Socke...
Risky. Really risky.
Ooh, it is getting risky.
Going for Phoenix right now. He doesn't know that his opponent doesn't have an expansion. ToD has no idea. He thinks his opponent has expanded behind this. He has no idea that he's about to hit with round 2 of this all-in. Socke has added on a 4th gateway. He's going completely all-in with this. He wants to 2-0 his opponent in the second game with some cheese, and now the Phoenix sees it. The Phoenix sees, oh, there is no expansion. I'm in trouble. There's going to be a
second you see that, yeah. The second you see there's no expansion down, you'll just be like, okay, throw down some emergency cannons. I need to make sure that I defend very, very quickly. A 3rd cannon coming down. ToD's like, okay, if I hold this off, I have won this game. Almost certainly. The Photon Overcharge is triggered. We see the Void Ray doing some nice damage. The Void Rays are both dealing damage on both sides. The Phoenix, though, really helping ToD to come out there. Both Void Rays go down on either side. Meanwhile, we've got some great lifts from those Phoenix, cutting apart a lot of Socke's army. Some good force fields also being utilized there by ToD. We can see the Zealots trying to fall back, but there's still just many more units on the field in ToD's base for Socke than ToD has to defend with. The army supply is heavily in Socke's favor. He's pushing up in towards the main. There are 3 cannons there, which will help whittle away reinforcements as they come through. But look at this. Socke, he's targeting down those pylons. He wants to depower the gateways, and if he manages to do that, that would be catastrophic for ToD.
If he gets that pylon, he's going to lose his 3 warp gates, so no reinforcements going to go down for ToD for a little while. Socke is walking in more Stalkers. They're running past the cannon, so they do take a little bit of damage on their shields. Does he have enough stuff here? I think he does. I think ToD has managed to defend here. The probes coming off the line. The Phoenix are still alive. They do not have any energy for lift, but they don't even need that. The probes get pulled again, and the last Stalker is going to bite dust in a second. But Socke is not done yet. He's warped in another full round of Stalkers. 4 more coming in. The Phoenix trying to tank some damage while the cannons deal their DPS. ToD has cleaned this up right now. He is down in workers though, but he has that expansion. Socke is still completely all in with this. He still wants to finish this. He knows he's got nothing to fall back on.
He's got to do more damage. I still don't feel he's done enough. He's only ahead by 3 probes, and he doesn't have a natural base. These cannons are here. There's a good number of units down for ToD as well. He's just got to make sure that Socke doesn't just run straight up into the main. He needs to make sure that those cannons are able to deal with the extra DPS, and that is what he's going to do. Socke forced back ToD, now 45 supply to 34 of Socke. He is in an amazing spot. As long as he keeps this up, as long as he keeps pro production, he should have this game in the bag now.
He's making a Phoenix again. Wow, what a baller move. Once again, ToD has no idea that his opponent still has not expanded. Ooh, nice force field there. That was absolutely needed. The Stalkers are doing a lot of damage, of course, trying to fall back to let the cannons do some work. The Zealots are starting to die off. In comes the fresh Phoenix to lift another Stalker, and the Stalker advantage is now in ToD's favor, and he is pushing his opponent back. The last Phoenix is going to go down, but every Stalker has fallen in return for Socke. 24 supply is when Socke calls